people, we the people would like you to know that wherever you go, we're right by your side.
Welcome back to We the People. My name is Derek Butler. Today I start the first part of my series, Chicago Roots, where I highlight some amazing Chicagoans who are doing great things for the future of the city. Today I sit down with my good friend Rickey Layfield. He grew up here in the city on the south side of Chicago and is now doing amazing things as far as education reform and programming for African American youth here in the city. We sat down at a coffee shop in Inglewood. Let's listen.
So my name is Rickey Layfield. I live in Bronzeville in Chicago right now. I've been living in Chicago my whole life. Basically, was raised with my mother and my stepfather, who I call my father for the most part, but my mother was always there for the most part. I think I learned to take pride in the small things. I was a kid who, I loved going to the corner store and getting a Flaming House with cheese. I love going across the street to Sharks on 79th Street to just get chicken. I love going to Rainbow Beach or Eggersaw Park to play basketball. Man, in the project I lived there, we used to go outside and catch bees. I mean, honestly, throw rocks at different things. Like, we found our own fun, and that's the best fun I ever had, honestly. Nothing compared to my childhood. I think people assume that in urban neighborhoods you can't have a childhood. I had some of the best fun of my life living in the hood. So, let me think, when I was younger, it was kind of random. Like, I wanted to be an artist. I want to be a rapper, and really and I can still rap to this day. I just don't take it serious, but ever since first, second, third grade, I was writing raps, freestyling. Like, that was a big thing at Hyde Park too. Like, we'd sit at the table, King Louie and his guys be there, and we'd freestyle the whole lunch period. That was just a big thing for us. So that was big. I wanted to be a rapper for real. In high school, I wanted to be a lawyer. I was part of peer jury, the law club, had a law class. And the reason being is because all my friends, we were so engulfed in crime, I feel like we should know the law. And in my mind, like, man, I'm gonna come back and free everybody. That was my thought process. When I got to college, I found other passions. I found a passion in event planning. I found passions in youth engagement. And that's what I do now. Not saying law school is out the way, but I really wanted to be a lawyer. Now I want to be the president that raps. Like, when I was younger, I was on 106 on Oak Street in Trumbull Park Home. Then I moved to 78th Street in Saginaw. So I've been Southeast my whole life. Then I moved to Woodlawn neighborhood. So my whole life, for the most part, I've been Southeast. But that pretty much was my world. Like, I still haven't been to the Sears Tower. My first time in the Bulls game was with my students, and that was last year. I didn't know it was two Chicago's. It's people now who they don't experience the violence, they don't experience the poverty, they live in a whole different city, and it's one city. School was always there for me. I like to excel in anything, so even when I was younger, I was in some AP classes, some honors classes. I struggled in some classes too, but it was always there for me. I've always been a quick thinker and stuff like that. I would personally say that college, it was something that I talked about, and I did it because I didn't have any other options for the most part. And the only reason I actually went to college is because me staying here would not help me progress. So I chose the school route. And from there, college, had I known what college was, I would have never been involved in anything else in the streets. I would have went to class every day and went home. Honestly, college was the best years of my life. I was able to develop there in a safe environment, learn who I am. I was able to take everything from the streets and apply it to the college campus. And I was able to create 2 or 3 organizations and lead 3 or 4 organizations and become a campus leader. But my environment from the streets made me that person. So I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for education. It started, how did I get into the world now? It started subconsciously in school. I was a kid who had straight A's and B's and all checks for talking or whatever. But it was never my problem I was talking about. One of my friends would get in trouble, and I'd be the guy like, no, Miss Gilly, that's wrong because A, B, C, and D, and I get in trouble. That was just me. I always stepped into somebody else's problems, and I didn't notice it. But my mother always told me as a kid, she told me 2 things. You get in trouble because you're bored. I thought it was BS. I'm like, nah, I'm just bad, whatever. And she told me that I'm gonna be a lawyer or something like that because I would defend other people. But it's my mother, she knows best. At the age, I'm like, whatever. But as I got older and went to college, I realized I was bored. I was involved in so much in college because I'm not good with idle time. And I started helping. I started a nonprofit with my mentor my freshman year. So I always was there to help other students. I always had mentors that helped me. And then my issue is this with our generation. You know, we get our degrees. It's more of us in college now than it is prison, black males. We get our degrees, then we come home, then we leave, or we not ever come home. So I got into this work because I hate watching the news and I hate being a Twitter activist. I hate being an Instagram activist, a Facebook activist. If I have a problem, I'm gonna do what I can do to fix it. I did a year of grad school at NIU, and at the time I was there, it was kind of like, I came, I saw, I conquered. Like, there was nothing else I could do, period. I pledged, shot the bro. I was able to create organizations. I had mentees that were taking over my organization, and my arena, I needed a bigger arena. So I came back home at 24. One of my mentees, Randis Hopkins, was applying for Chicago Cares. I had never heard of it. He told me to apply. And out of like 300 applicants, they picked like 13 of us. And that was my first step back to the city. So my first role, professional, full-time job ever was working as a special ed classroom assistant in Inglewood, which humbled me very much so. I learned that me elementary school students is not my thing. I learned it, at least not in the classroom. I had so many different issues with CPS at the time. I was studying student affairs and I was learning little things like in areas where they focus on discipline more, they're building laborers. And areas when they focus on creativity, they're building leaders. And at the school, it was level 0, no talking in the hallway, no talking at lunch. And it hurt me to be a part of that, knowing what the next step was for most of the youth. So that was killing me on the inside. But life is about networking. So my mentor, who I was working on Urban Mill Network with, is a guy named Derek, who was doing work at Julian with Becoming a Man program. And because of my work ethic in the organization, he referred me, and I became Becoming a Man counselor. I feel like our youth need someone that's relatable, but took a different path, and how to get to that path. And one of my students told me, for the most part that the reason why the shorties follow up with the guys who are selling drugs or doing whatever, because they're reachable, they're touchable. Like, you can see them, you can feel them and figure out how they got what they got. A lot of us aren't, not too many guys come from the streets, go to college, and make a way and come back and show them how to do it. So that's a disconnect. We have a lot of people who made out of Chicago, and if everybody did their part, I think it'd be different. The youth, the kids that are involved in whatever, they aren't the people who you see a mug shot, but there's always something behind that mug shot. They're just missing something. They're missing the big homie, the positive one. If people really came back out of college and put a little bit in here and there, it would create change. What made me come back to Chicago, I think what really hit me, and I say this guy Randis, who he does work for the community as well. He's in Orlando now. He had an event called Say Chicago, but this is an NIU event. And we had a board. And on the board, you put it right down the people you lost, right? So I wrote down the names of people I lost. It was like 7 or 8 names. And somebody commented was like, damn, who is this? Right? And I thought about it like, wow, like I have experienced a lot of trauma, and it didn't even occur to me. Like, friends that I lost due to gun violence. So my thing was this. I had to come back for the simple fact there was no point in me making it out of that. There's no point in walking that path if I wasn't gonna help somebody else walk that path, you know? And I don't think God took me out, because I could have easily had a jail record. I could have easily been dead. I could have easily been a lot of things. I could not be sitting here with a master's degree and a bachelor's degree, coming from Woodlawn, coming from South Shore. Like, that could have easily not happened. So I feel like a traitor or a fool or a coward to take that and run, you know? Because I used to be confused about why me. All my friends, jail records this long. I'm first generation college student. So I had to make my own path. And I feel like if I didn't come back to help others, it could be taken away easily. So and I feel good when I do it, man. It's like working other jobs is cool. but in my heart and my soul, I feel better when I'm with my students. One thing from the base of growing up was my mother. Didn't graduate from college, didn't even go to college, right? But now she's in school, getting a degree in psychology. I think I kind of inspired her to go back. But me knowing that she had me at 17 and my upbringing made me feel like I could do anything, because my mother legitimately made something out of nothing. I never went hungry, never went unclothed, and it's hard now to make a living without a degree, or with a degree. My mother really made that happen. So that's one thing that gives me hope, because I know that's inside my blood, like that strong will is there. Number two that gives me hope is actually our youth, man. Some things they say at their age that I work with is almost like, wow. And I was a sharp dude growing up, but I even still was missing some things. A lot of the folks I work with now, they got a lot of promise. If they just listen and stay focused, I can see some great things. I love the city, you know. There's a lot of people that's working out here that care. Growing up, I didn't know people cared. As a youth, I didn't know people care. I didn't know what a Greek was, what an Alpha was. I didn't know what a Delta AKA was. I didn't know none of that. But now that I'm older, I actually see that people from that realm are coming back and giving back. So it inspires me. And if I got to be a soldier and help push that forward, I will be.
I hope that you enjoyed this episode and were able to gain some inspiration and hope from Rickey's story. He's doing some amazing things for youth here in the city through multiple programs, and even being an entrepreneur and starting his own organization. If there's anything that I gained from this story, it's don't judge a book by its cover. We all can do amazing things when opportunities and exposure are placed in front of us. On next week's episode, I posed the question to education researcher and journalist Linda Ludden. Can education solve the poverty crisis here in our country, but more specifically in the city of Chicago? She has written an amazing piece called The View from Room 205, where she sits down and observes a classroom for an entire year on the west side of the city. Please follow us on social media, on Twitter and Facebook at Be Hopeful People, and I look forward to seeing you next week. We are building our website at BeHopefulPeople.com, and we will let you know when it is ready for you to view. Thanks so much for tuning in, and remember, be hopeful people.